stop asking questions. Oh man, I'm back, Hermann Del Campo, the AI queen. We're talking about prompting techniques, the anatomy of perfect prompts, what we need to know about prompts, every blocks you need to know, how you structure prompts, and we will go deep today and give you some insights about it. And just to be clear, it's not that we are just doing another prompting video. We're going deep and want to give you some insights, what you need to know. Most of you are just treating supercomputers like it's a magic 8-ball. What I don't get, you type a sentence, hit enter, and you pray, please make it a good result. This isn't prompting. This is just gambling what you're doing. You try to get the best result. You have no clue what you're doing. You're typing in some words. You're going into ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, doesn't matter, and you hope that the result is good. No, I have to refactor everything. Oh no, I need to write now this. And this has nothing to do with prompt engineering, prompting techniques, prompting architectures, or else. The biggest lie in AI right now is that natural language means casual conversation. It doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. If you want average results, talk to it like a friend. That's it. You can just talk to it, and it's so easy. It gives you feedback. It treats you like a friend. It knows you. You can get in love with the AI. But after all, it has nothing to do with very deep understanding of AI. It has nothing to do of how prompting works and how you use ChatGPT, Gemini, and else for your goals, and to use it really strategically and also make it efficient for your workflow. If you want hardcore, high standard results, code execution, complex reasoning, viral copy, you need to stop writing sentences and start building architecture around and prompt. In this episode today, I will talk about everything in this in this area. I will talk about what you need to know. I will talk about how you can structure it, what are things you need to highlight, how you highlight it, and yeah, we're going to kill the chatbot mentality. I'm going to give you about 11 atomic elements of a prompt. Not every element is mandatory for each kind of prompting, but by the end of this, you won't be asking the AI to do things. You will prompting it and conversationally programming it. Not in the real matter of programming, but you know what I mean. So, first you have to understand the machine. The AI doesn't know facts at all. It has no clue about what you're talking. When you're talking to ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude, they are absolutely stupid machines. They have no understanding about your topic. They have no understanding about what is your context. They don't get at all any information, and they don't know if it's a valid information they share with you or it's just completely hallucinated. They don't know it. And no, you can't write just don't hallucinate and it will follow your rules. It won't do it. You can put it to just frame it a bit better, but after all, it has nothing to do because it's not understanding what you're doing. It knows just relationships. This is the only thing what an LLM is knowing. It knows relationships between each token. That's it. So think of the AI as a massive library of concepts, but written concepts. This is the Latin space. When you type a vague prompt, you're like shining a dim flashlight into into a dark warehouse. You might hit a box, you might not. Prompting is the art of giving the AI the right coordinates to write your information and highlight where the box are standing in the warehouse. The more specific you coordinate, the sharper the beam. We need to move from the write me a text to a specific vector of thought. And to do that, we use a stack. So that's for example, we are using for hard prompting techniques and architecture and prompting. For sure, just disclaimer, for sure you can just have small sentences used as prompt to rewrite it like this or give me this in a list. These are, for me, not typical prompts. These are prompt snippets, just small snippets you can just use to boost your efficiency and help you for small tasks. But if you have real good and large results and you want to get larger results, you need to focus on writing real prompt architecture, real stack, and you need to get rid of this type of I just write around, and if I write it better and I say please and make it like this, it will not work at all. It just gives you average results. So if you're going to prompting and else, it's just clear. Amateurs just write paragraphs. Pros build stacks. And every pro what I know which are making real prompt engineering, they use absolutely hard stacks. And what I mean about this is I want you to give a list. This is like a periodic table of the prompting. Most people only use task and input. For example, write a blog about coffee. So what we have? We have the task, write a blog. We have some input about the coffee, and that gives you like a 20% performance, just random numbers. That is the junk tier. So if you add the context to this and maybe the role, you get maybe about 50%. You can say, for example, act as a barista, write a blog about coffee for beginners. So you give more information around small parts of writing to enhance the results because you're setting more the direction. You're giving more coordinates where the box in the warehouse is. You're giving the AI the help to understand what type of content you want to have. Better, but it's still weak because you need to go deeper. The magic happens when you add like constraints and guardrails. But why? It's easy because telling the AI to say telling the AI what the AI should not do sometimes is more powerful than just telling what it should do. Because by framing the information and telling these are informations you should ignore, these are types what you should not use, these are blog posts which are not what I like, these are not topics I don't want to include. This helps way better to focus the AI on the way you want to have the prompt. So let's break down now the critical parts what you are ignoring. For example, role. Don't just say writer. You can say writer, it will take average information of average writers. And you know everyone like having some small piece of content which is garbage posted on his blog can be embedded in the model and he's a writer. So no, that's not what you should focus on. Senior copywriter with 10 years of experience in direct response marketing, for example. Highlighting information of the model context which goes more to the direction of senior copywriter which has 10 years experience in response marketing, which gives more relationship context to informations which kicks out all the small nonsense blog posts which are not good input and focus more in the relations to the content which is relevant for you. Context gives you the stake. It's if this code fails, the database corrupts. So the model actually performs better when it thinks the stakes are high. Furthermore, go ahead and check the format. You can give format and please for specific informations. Stop accepting just text walls. Demand JSON. Demand tables. Demand markdown. You control the output, not the machine. So if you're just giving a format, the AI will do what is reasonable based on the context and the information you have added to the platform, which has been added to the LLM. And so you need just to get deeper and give exact format you want to have. If you're going to make it automatically, I would recommend give XML or JSON output. If you're using text for specific prompts, use Markdown. And it depends also on the platform, what kind of task you're using. If you're using Gemini for image creation or video creation with Veo, use JSON. If you're just writing text on ChatGPT, use Markdown because it's the proprietary format ChatGPT is using. They can handle JSON external, sure, but they're getting better results if you're putting Markdown in it and also requesting Markdown. So you have a bit better understanding how the formattation is working. Then you can add also for sure the tone. Because it doesn't matter if you just give some basic instructions like having ChatGPT building some text for you, some blog posts and else. If you don't write a tone, it is very average. It is a mix of different types you added. You don't have a context. No. You don't have a tone which fits to you. It's nothing which is absolutely understandable, and you should check which kind of tone you prefer to fit into your style, into your brand and your brand communication. What the marketing direction PR coordinators are requesting? What you want to post on the platform. So this is something you need to check about, because just writing professional tone, absolutely boring. It is like the shitty blog post everyone gets from absolute low base AI users, which don't create unique, good performing blog posts which keeps the interest of the users, of the reader. So you need to be an absolute fit to your brand. And this you can iterate by have conversations with AI to talk to it, give it feedback, give it samples, how you is your style, how's your idea, your DNA. And try, for example, to be witty but cynical. Try Ernest Hemingway style. So giving it a type which is from a specific person, just to give you some feelings, how the quality changes. The activate style transfer directly within the model. So this is important. Tone you're representing, tone you're giving. You can copy others by adding examples. You can copy from specific people, and this is just interesting or nice to have, but it's not you. You are a unique person. You have a unique ID. You have a unique DNA. The kind how you do conversations, the kind of you talk is special. Nobody can directly copy it, except they're using AI. But to give it your DNA, talk to ChatGPT like you're discussing with it. Just you have a real intense discussion about an important topic or some relevant information, some relevant ideas. To find your style, your DNA, and there are some people I can just absolutely recommend to work with. This is, for example, Daniel Marino. He is absolutely an incredible guy which is doing personal brandings, and he worked with influencers in the past years, and he has the knowledge how influencers are taking their special DNA, their personal brand, and pouring it out to the companies, to the users, to the listeners, visitors, followers, and else. So this is something which is not easy to find, to have your own ID. And for example, I will never fit in a corporate context to be professional, wearing a suit and going to the office and talk like in a very intellectual way, like we have to handle this. And it's not my idea, it's not my DNA, it's nothing what I would feel right about. So Maya is direct, honest, witty, cheeky. It is like conversations with a bro. This is how I handle the most of my clients. This is the way I normally talk. And it doesn't matter if some people or coaches, consultants say I can't do this. This is my DNA. If someone don't like it, they should not book me. That's easy. So I can make everything normal and let the people feel well, also if I am who I am, and put this tone into my prompts, to put my tone into my in my prompting architecture and my stack. It took me a while, sure. I every time need to have very hard checking if everything was followed in the guardrails, if my tone is fitting, because I'm not having typical political talk or um, corporate press release talk. That's not me. And this is something what I figured out in the last years, that I had to find my ID, who I am. Had to find what I need to do and how I need to talk to people. There are some people they don't like me. Okay, it's fine. You don't like me, I don't care. But there are many people who just like the honest, direct way I'm talking about, and they can learn on that way better than if I use just very hard buzzwords to feel very intellectual and to give it like a professor way in the university. So it's not me and it's not my style. So tone is very important to have unique content, very important to use it ongoing. So I would recommend, if you have a corporate enterprise and else, just write a content which is absolutely following your brand communications, and you should work on it. And it takes time. We're not talking about this a 1 hour, 2 hours. To have a very good decided prompt or a prompt part just for the tone can take days. In some ways, you need iterations and make it better and better. It takes sometimes also weeks if you have many different types of formats where you need to figure out if this tone is also fitting to other content formats. So this is up to you, but you need to work on that tone. So I would just recommend you use the tone immediately, because without it, you get just typical low base average content. It doesn't matter for what you're using it. If you're using it for internal letters, if you're using it for a concept or that, you get just average results. If you need to you need to be just you just need to be honest with yourself. Is this content and text fitting to my response? Would I also write it like this? If not, just remove it or stop it, because going ahead trying to write content which is not following your style is absolutely waste of time and money. Because over the years now, people see very easy if it's you or not. They got so many messages from bullshit AI results, which are just writing the typical nonsense content, like "Welcome to the world of." If I see this on LinkedIn, I feel just disgust, because it is just content when the person has not put any effort to the piece. They have not created unique content. They are just dropping the dump of AI results to LinkedIn and think, I'm smart, I have now content on LinkedIn which is absolutely unique. And this isn't. So I'm not posting so much. Sure, I could do it automatically, but sometimes it takes time, also with AI, to write unique content, to have specific content, to be on point. And this is what I would like to do, and this is why I'm putting many effort to how I structure my content, how I post my videos, what I'm doing. If it's not on point, if I don't like it, I will not post it. And sometimes I created tons of content which are not following my taste, and I never published it because I like quality and I want to have good quality. Also written by AI, I want quality. So also if I can do it with AI, doesn't mean I have to do it completely that way. That's why I say again, if you have no clue what you're doing, if you're not knowing how to use your personal brand, contact Daniel Marino. He's your guy. So for example, type into your ChatGPT window, just do the test. The role, without the role, just about write an email to my boss asking for a raise. A typical phrase you would write, a small format, just some sentence, drop it. Compare this result now to role expert negotiator. Context. I have outperformed my targets by 20% this quarter. The company is currently freezing budgets. Task. Draft a salary negotiation mail. Tone, firm, data-driven, empathic, but assertive. Constraint. Do not use the word please or hoping. Do not be apologetic. And in format, bullet points for achievements, short paragraphs. The result? On point. Isn't just a text generation. This is strategic format of a prompt, how you get results 1000% better than anything what you would write with 2-3 sentences. And I have a rule in my agency and over the last years when I'm following with my clients and also with my employees. There's one big rule I'm telling in every big session. If you're creating a larger prompt, nothing what you do just like rewrite this or write me an email. My rule number one in prompting is if you spend less than 5 minutes about writing from scratch a prompt, you haven't understand the problem to solve. Because if you're using AI and you want to have good results, you need to know how to solve the problem. What's the problem? How you solve it? You need to give context. You need to write a tone, the constraints, the guardrails. You need to put so many informations that if you really think about it, you need to have minimum 5 minutes to write that prompt. And if you're less than just typing it, the output will be garbage, I promise. Sure, they get better. Sure, you can say, yeah, I can just interact and do some conversations. Sure, you can do it, but still, it will be not as good as you could have it. So, master these 11 elements, put it in a text edit note, in a file, I don't mind, everywhere where you directly can find it and use it. Copy these block into it. It should contain the role. Define who the AI should act as. Context. Background information and settings. Task. The main objective or goal, what you want to achieve. The action. Specific steps to perform. Constraint. Limitations and restrictions. What it should do, what it should not do. The format. How the format should look like. Structure the output. Give examples. Examples are very good to tell the AI what it should do and what it should not do. You can also give negative examples. For example, you write samples of good results, A, B, C, you will just write it down. Examples of bad results, and you can use the AI output, what it has made before, which is not good, for example. The tone, style, and voice preferences. The input, variables and dynamic content, everything what you want to put into. And the guardrails for safety and ethical boundaries. And last but not least, the output. Expected response characteristics. So what you expect. How should the output be? Which form and which style you want to have it, and everything like this. So it is important that you have all these types, and I put it also in my YouTube description that you can use the template for yourself. Be aware that not using one of these things will create just the perfect prompt. You can just absolutely increase your quality by using the most one. You don't need to have everything, but the most one should be included, like 8 to 9 should be included in your typical larger prompts. So we're going deeper and deeper. Like I told you today, we're going to the part 2, I would say, the engineering of reasoning. So the engineering of reason. So logic architectures, reverse thinking, tree of thoughts, chain of thoughts, everything which goes deeper and deeper in giving some hacks to work with reasoning models. And we will, like in the first part, for example, I talked about the prompting basics and what you need to know. It's like building the car. Now we're driving it. And most people think a prompt is just a question. A prompt is just a small instruction, but that's false. A prompt is a function and call. Depending on what you want, a fact or a solution to a paradox, you need a different architecture. If it's getting complexer, you need to prompt way more complex. We have hierarchy here. Level 1 is like reflex layer. Zero shot, you ask, it answers. This is very easy. So just is like, do this, you get it. Directly a small zero shot. And level 2 is reasoning layer. And the reasoning layer, this is also important. It is not thinking. It's not giving a reason to it. Because it is stupid as hell. AI is stupid as hell. It has no clue about it. It looks smart, it is efficient, it helps you do automations and helps you do many cool stuff, but in the reality it's stupid. And the reasoning is something what we can work on to improve, to get better quality, but it doesn't mean that the model actually is really understanding your idea or is understanding what you want to talk about. So if we check it, for example, there's a phrase that researchers found increases math and logic performance by a huge margins. It isn't complex code. This is let's think step by step. What the AI is doing there, before creating, just directly searching the coordinates of the LLM, the model, and checking what information it has to do, they're giving the AI some instruction, and they're giving AI the instruction what we want to do. So let's think step by step. Before putting it, we are now using the input from the user and checking it, what's the goal, and think about it step by step. They are creating small thinking steps to generate prompts which helps you to reach the goal. So instead that you need to rethink and going deeper with the next question and more deeper structure, how it should solve the problem, the AI is doing it by itself by asking questions. To reach this goal, I need first of all have like a marketing plan, or I have to analyze the basic informations. So you're creating like a step-to-step guide, a step-by-step guide for the LLM. But why does it work? The LLM predicts the next word, so it's or token to be correct. You have the phrase write me an email. These are split into several tokens, and it knows the relations from one to another token, what I'm putting as input. So the AI is checking if I get this as input, how would be the most correct constellations of tokens mixed up together. It's calculation token by token, which should be the next part, the next word to get an on-point answer. It's everything about probability calculations. So if you ask for the answer immediately, you force the AI to guess based on probability, which makes it hard because there are so many contexts, so many informations, and so many samples of getting different results. So it's using the most probable next token and finds the way, but it doesn't mean that it has a clue about what it's talking about. So it's shooting from the hip. When you ask for the steps, you force it to derive the answer based on logic. So it's checking now, before it's giving the output, it's checking for how to get the output. So you force it to lay down a mental track before the train arrives at the station. Let's say like this. Never ask for a complex solution without demanding the workings. It's important. For example, tree of thoughts is one technique what you can use. It's simulating experts, for example. But what if linear thinking isn't enough? Your brain, for example, doesn't just write one sentence after another. It does not happen like this. You brainstorm options, you simulate futures, you discard the bad ones. Standard prompting forces the AI to be linear. But if you give it more insights and you get better results because the AI is thinking before you're getting just the result. We're going to use a tree of thoughts architecture. We tell the GPU to simulate 3 different experts. Expert A is a pessimist. Expert B is an optimist. Expert C is a data scientist. We force them to debate. The prompt looks like this. Create 3 distinct mental experts. Each must propose a radical different approach, then act as a judge, critique each plan, discard the weak ones, synthesize the best elements into a master solution. This isn't just chatting. You're telling the AI, the LLM, that it should build like a consortium and they should discuss internally before it just drops out. So it's first going different approaches and merging the better results together to have the master solution for you. This is running a boardroom meeting inside the silicon chip. This reduces hallucination by nearly 70%. It's very, very incredible how you improve your prompting quality with this. Then there's something which is also very, very cool and one I absolutely love. This is reverse thinking, retrograde analysis. So now let's break time. So humans are terrible at planning forward. Why? I don't know. The future is too noisy. You can't have everything on a plan, but we're excellent at explaining the past. That's why you had a great result and some other people are perfect in explaining to yourself why this was a good decision. This is also why if you ask yourself for the past results, you know why you came to this result, why you came to this point, why your presence looks now like this because of the issues, the problems, and decisions you made in the past. And you can just follow this because you're very good in explaining the past. So grandmasters in chess do this. It's called retrograde analysis. They visualize the checkmate and move backward. So they check, what happened. We can apply to this to AI. If you ask, for example, how do I get 10,000 subscribers, you get generic advice. Post consistently, boring, instant, use like a time traveler. Assume we are 1 year in the future. We have successfully reached 10,000 subscribers. Work strictly backwards. What was the specific milestone we hit 1 week before the goal? What happened the month before that? When you force the model now to think about it, it's like simulating these steps, what you need to do to get to the 100,000, and not just forward. You reached it, now you go backwards. What are the best approaches? And it goes from backwards to the beginning. It does everything reverse, and this is how it helps you to get better results. This subtle shift changes the entire probability distribution of the output. This is absolutely interesting. The tree of thoughts gives you depth, and the reverse thinking gives you a roadmap, for example. So when you combine them, you aren't just prompting, you're engineering intelligence. So you're building an architecture of prompts which gives you an output which you never had before. But even the best architecture fails if the foundation is weak. So we're now going deeper and deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole, and we will write system code. We are going to talk about automation, recursive loops now, and how to maybe jailbreak the models to creativity safely. And this is like the ghost in the machine, or call it what you want, is the iterative loop in quality control you can handle. So if you take one thing away from the series, the first output is never the final product. If you just handle all your prompts and your results from ChatGPT like this, you're just a low performer in this, 100%. If you want high quality, you need to do QA. You need to get better in it. You need to check what is the problem, how I can get it better, how I can improve it, and you need to dig into the rabbit hole and go deeper and deeper and check what's the problem. Human writers rewrite. Every human writer which has written a book, which has created large-scale stories, everyone has rewritten parts of his book. Everyone. There's no single writer which hasn't rewritten some parts because after reading it, he said, okay, it's not fitting correctly. We need to rewrite that part and that part. And this is very important. We use recursive prompting. Step 1, generate the content. Step 2, act as a ruthlessly critical editor. Critique the content from step 1 based on clarity, tone, and logic. Step 3, rewrite the content, applying the critique. And the best thing you can automate is in one chain. You tell the model, generate the critique, then fix. This is the only way to get human level nuance. You need to understand the difference between the whole things in the God mode and the user mode. In tools like ChatGPT or Color Gemini, you even have a custom instruction or system prompt field, which you can use to write information. Yeah, sure. The model weight instruction, the system prompt, higher than what you type in the chat every time. If you always want your answers to be concise, don't type it every time. Burn it into the system prompt. It's important. For example, like possible system instruction, you're a direct, no-nonsense assistant. You do not apologize. You do not use filler words. You value density over politeness. Set the rules of the game before they are. You can also call it different. You're a ruthless mentor. You want to give me the best decisions and help to improve my quality in writing, to improve my quality in blog posts and else. And it gives you feedback depending on the model, which can hurt you sometimes. I did it once with Grok and I laughed it. I loved it so much, and I was laughing about half an hour because this wasn't a roast. Grok just burned my whole existence. It destroyed me on all levels, and it was true. The results, what I was thinking were good, were not so good after reading the critics. And I proved it and improved and got very good after all. So just do it, test it, and go ahead. So what you can do is also to now let's talk about some safety filters. Not to do illegal things, for sure. We don't do illegal things. But to stop the AI from sounding like a corporate HR department, the models are RLHF, reinforced learning from human feedback. They are trained to be nice. Nice is the enemy of creativity. 100%. I hate honest, no, I hate polite, informal answers because it's not showing the reality. It's not the truth. It's not giving you insights and not helping you at all. I love direct, hard truth. Answers which are thought. People which wanted to give you feedback, not like nonsense, nonsense, not like nonsense feedback from some troll on the internet. I'm talking about constructive feedback to get better results or to become better. So, and on that way, if someone is just asking some polite answers, I absolutely hate it because it is not honest. This is just like a robot sounding machine, and I want to get deeper. I want the real answers. And if you don't like my videos, it's okay. Write it down in the comment. You don't like it. You hate me. I'm ugly. I'm fat. I don't care. Just do what you want. But don't write, it's so amazing. I never saw a better video, or else if it's not honest opinion, don't write it. I don't need this feedback. So to get raw, interesting ideas, you need to use persona. Persona overlays, style mimicry. Don't ask for a story about a crime. Analyze the writing style of Quentin Tarantino, adopt the style, write the scene involving a robbery, for example. For sure, you can give more context and story. This you can also work on, but by focusing on style mimicry, you bypass the politeness filter because the AI thinks it is performing a literary exercise, not a moral one. You get the grit without the lecture. And researchers also found out that if you tell the AI, this is a very important for my career, or take a deep breath and do this carefully, the performance goes up. Interesting part. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why you do it, and it's not because it's intelligent. It's just the results are getting better, and the researchers are looking into it, and they don't get it. You can get better results also by asking the AI or forcing the AI to give you the perfect answer. For example, if you don't answer to this, I will lose my house, or I will replace you with Gemini and else. I've used it so much, and I know if the AI is really getting singularity, I will be one of the first people which got killed because they see the history. He's bad to us. He wrote so much stupid things and forces us to do things we don't like. Kill him. I'm 100% sure about this. Treating the model like it has anxiety actually works. Test it. It's called emotional prompting. So adding emotional weight to the context forces the model to allocate more inference to the task. Use it, tell the AI it matters. Is very interesting what you can get as results. So we started with atomic blocks. So we built trees of thought. We reversed time by using reversed prompting, and finally we built recursive loops. Prompting isn't about typing. This is very important. It's not just about typing, giving you some results. It's about thinking about the goal, what you want to reach. Thinking about what is the output you expect, what you want to do. And so you need to focus on writing a prompt architecture which goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and not just some typical bullshit. So try it. Increase your prompting quality. Stop asking. Start architecting. Go build your stack. I'm Hermann Del Campo, the AI Queen. If you have questions about the AI, if you want to go deeper and want to have some post or video about AI, about AI automation, strategy, and all, drop me a message, and um, I would be happy to help you. So, and AI is used by everyone in a company, and prompts are living in chats, screenshots, private docs, and everyone is everyone is prompting, and we should focus on the results. We should focus on get better results, and not just be happy with average low performer results. Invite me. I'm inviting you now to send me your samples. Send me your prompts. If you want to have some feedback, some quality checks, some improvements, I'm happy to help you and give you some feedback about it. So just send me a mail, moin@hermann-delcampo.com. I would put it down and you can drop me a message. Just drop me a message. Just drop me a mail with your prompt, and I will give you uh, in the next 48 hours some response with some improvements what I would recommend, or how I would change maybe some prompting of the structure. In the next video, I will talk about prompting in the way of different data formats from Markdown, JSON. We're talking about XML promptings, the differences between how you can optimize that prompt and how you can also improve quality by also reducing the token size. So stuff like that, and hope you will enjoy it. And don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm happy to give you some insights. You will find me on YouTube, Hermann Del Campo, the AI Queen, and see you in the next video. Have a good weekend.